Yes. Okay. Okay. Your best joiner in the house. Hello. Yvette Sojourner here. Yvette Sojourner here. Welcome. Listen, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Houses of the Skin is going to be spread across the YouTubers and the interweb. This is a place and a space where luxury meets authenticity. Listen, today, oh my goodness, let me tell you, first off, the content schedule has shifted so much since the last video. I wanted to hurry up and get this one out to you. I've already gotten out the Hermes VIP event and after party, yada, yada, yada. So you have already seen my beautiful new addition. Now, right at this moment, I am in Miami. I was invited by a, dare I say, friend to attend the Hermes private sale. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. So I had to make sure that I got this out to you so you could see what I picked up from the Hermes private sale. Yes, and let me be honest. Let me just be transparent with you, okay? We are still at the hotel. Tomorrow we fly out. This is how serious this was for me to get it out to you, okay? I was like, I am going to record this for all of you. Bear with me. I have notes so I can share as much as I can about all of the Hermes private sale happenings. So if you are ever invited, you are prepared. So I'm gonna do my best to cover everything I can and also share with you all the goodies I got. Let me just show you. Yes, I know if you have been following on my social media, like on Instagram, you would have seen so much. Oh my goodness. It has been an amazing experience. I have been nonstop since the Hermes VIP event. I am tired. So after this, I will be taking a break. I think it has been earned, right? So with that, let me get my notes. I was invited to the event by @Marlena's Quest. Yes, I have to send out a shout out to her. And I'm just gonna say friend because that is what she is now. I can't even express the gratitude that I have for her extending that invite to me. She did not have to, and she just did. And it was amazing. I have a new bestie. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have a new bestie and I'm so excited about that. The sale began November 6th and ran until the 10th. So today is November 10th. We attended on November 9th, so it was the day before the last day. The slots for the sale were from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on those days. I wanted to go the very first day. I'm just going to be honest. I wanted to go the very first day, the very first time slot, because that is just how I roll. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that because my friend's schedule would not permit it, and that I understood and I respected, and I wanted to make sure that I attended with her because she invited me, and I thought that if nothing else, I had to just be there to spend time with her and learn as much as I can from her because she's just an amazing person. So I went ahead and corresponded with her so that we could schedule our visit at the exact same time in the same day. So we decided on going together November 9th, and that worked out fabulously. Not going on the first day, I feel, worked to our benefit. After doing some research, others who attended on the first day complained about how long they had to wait. Like on the first day, the lines are crazy long, which means the wait is crazy long as well. Admittedly, I was so worried that there would not be anything available, the second day before the end of the sale. So I'm like, I don't know, is there gonna be anything at all? Is it gonna be worth it? Well, my friend went and she searched the interweb and she found a post on Instagram. It was the Purse Bop post where a person actually asked that question. They were very concerned, and this was for the New York sale that happened there. And Perspex was like, don't worry, they replenish the stock regularly, so don't worry about it. Now, when I read that, it gave me a little relief, but I am not gonna lie, I was very anxious. Leading up to the event, my friend also sent like tons of Instagram posts that she had come across regarding this event as soon on the first day. So from the first day, the event doors open, she was sending me the information, and I was watching the videos, and the one thing they say is that you're not supposed to be recording. So we were just astonished people were recording. Well, at the same time, it did give us a glimpse of what was there, because if you look in the background, you can see, oh, look at all the scarves, look at all the different clothes, da 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 da. So we benefited from that greatly. So let me touch on some of the policies that they provided in the fine print. And I'm not going to go over all of them. I will say when you entered the space, before you even entered the space, they checked to see if you had the invitation, and you could do it from your phone, but they also recommended having a hard copy as well. And you also needed your ID. That was the first thing, even if you were a +1. So my friend was the one who was initially invited. I was the +1. I still had to follow the same procedure. Listen, all sale items are as is and final sale. I am only lifting this up because I highlighted it way before the event when I was doing my research and preparing for it. But I'm going to say, when I was trying on a dress, there was an actual tear in front of the silky dress that I was trying on. And so I immediately stopped because I didn't even get it over my head at all. I just noticed it and was like, what is that? So I looked, I gave it to them immediately. They pulled it and removed it from the floor. I am just saying this because if you are invited in the future, check the items that you are picking up. And there is another story for another item that I picked up, but I will share that once we get to that item. As I said, there is no recording permitted. And I'm going to touch on this again as well. They also highly recommend that you not wear any Hermes items at all. I had people ask me questions about bags. I myself was not carrying or wearing anything Hermes because I read this information prior to attending. When we were in line, there were individuals who had like a Birkin and other Hermes pieces. All bags got checked. It did not matter. It did not matter if it was like, I had a belt bag, so it was a really, really small bag. Yes, that bag got checked as well. Carry your lovely Birkins if you so choose, but they will be checked. Just FYI. Let's get into what I wore and why I decided to wear what I wore. First thing is, of course, because of the policy of not wearing anything Hermes, I had to be uber mindful of what I wanted to wear. Because at first I was like, oh, I could wear a scarf, right? I could wear my Hermes jet sneakers, right? No, none of that. None of that. I opted not to wear any of that. So I had to go into my old stock and find things. So I went ahead and chose a couple pieces, but before we get to that, because it was happening in Miami and there were already a number of hurricanes that had gone through, we were very concerned that potentially there would be another hurricane. That was not the case. It did not happen, and I have to say I'm happy and excited. There was no rain whatsoever since we've been here, and that was just everything I needed, because I was like, do I need an umbrella? What am I going to do if we're standing out there and it's raining? What kind of shoes do I wear? I mean, I went through the entire thing in my head, the scenario, and I just was hoping it just didn't rain, and it didn't. So it really did benefit us that it did rain. So the day of the sale, I ended up wearing an Align vest with a Amazon bodysuit underneath, one of those shapewear type bodysuits, but not the heavy duty shapewear, just lightweight type shapewear, and a pair of AYR jeans. Then I tossed on my Prada sneakers because those were really the only sneakers I had that were not Hermes. And for my hair, I just tossed on one of my black turbans because couldn't wear a scarf. I just chose not to, just to be respectful. I intentionally chose this outfit because I knew if I came across something that I needed to try on as far as ready to wear, I would be prepared and be able to get it on, get everything I had on off quickly and then put it back on quickly so I can move through, because I was not sure how it would work as far as timing and everything else. If you do receive an invitation, my advice to you would be to wear something comfortable and make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes. That is all I'm going to say about that. You know, that is my number one priority. You know, that is what I'm about. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. As far as having a plan, I did not really have a plan. I wanted to stay open, so I was not stressing out. In the scheme of things, we're going later in the week, like, you know, second from last day. And with my friend, she kind of had a general idea, like a plan, but in the end, she also decided, okay, we're just going to throw caution to the wind and see what we find. Now, you know, let me get a little closer. Now, you know, I had a list. You know, I had a list. Yes, I did. I had a list. I had a list for myself. I had a list for hubs. I was not going in there just to buy things for the sake of buying them, even though they would be on sale. No, that is not what I'm about. You know this about me. So I'm going to share my list with you. On my list, I had gloves, blankets. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's on my regular list as well. But I was like, if I can pick it up in the sale, that would be icing on the cake. I'm just gonna be honest. I had skirts and bottoms to see if I can try on different sizes. I put down tops, coats, vests, dresses, of course, because I already knew my sizes in all of those. Shoes, if they had anything available. Bracelets. I really wanted to try some of Hermes's fashion jewelry. It's been a long time for me. So I was like, you know what? I have an arm that I don't have anything on. It would be nice to be able to toss something on there. But of course, there was a stipulation. It had to be black and palladium. You knew that already. You knew that about me already. You knew it. You already knew that, right? Okay, let's move on. And then all the scarves. All the scarves I could find, I wanted. I'm just going to be honest. As long as it wasn't something that I already own. We'll come back to this. We will come back to this. Watch. So for hubs, bottoms and blazers, because we just discovered his sizes in those two categories since going to the Hermes VIP event. So I was like, okay, if I find some, I know what I'm looking for. I know it's gonna work. Silk pocket squares, yes. You know, we're gonna be attending black tie events in the future, so we need silk pocket squares and ties for hubs. It makes sense. Shoes and tops. You never go wrong. Just to see what they have, see if it's something that's gonna work for him. I always look for hubs. That's just what I do. Admittedly, this is the first time I have ever been invited or even attended an Hermes private sale. It has been like this urban legend up until this point because everyone talks about it. Well, who goes? And the people that I've heard that have gone is not anyone I know. So I was just like, okay, if it happens, maybe one day, but at some point I kind of just let it fall out of my consciousness because I don't know what it really takes. And because where I'm located, even at the boutique that I frequent, there is no sales. Like I don't know how that works within Hermes where they choose to have the sales. I know that they have them in Paris. I know they have them in New York. So of course it has to be a major city, but I don't know what else goes into that. So with that, and because I'm not in Paris at the times normally that there's a sale, I just didn't think it was going to be a possibility, especially not anytime soon. Listen to me. Before the sale, I caught myself saying, if it's for me, it'll be there. I was so determined not to stress out about any of this. So I just kept hearing myself repeat that. If it's for me, it'll be there. Don't rush. Take your time. And that's exactly what I found myself doing. So the line outside when we first got there was not bad at all. Now, after we got there, it did start to kind of grow. It did not take long for us to get inside, but we had to show the invitation. We had to show the ID. Then we had to go in, do it again. At that point, they scanned it. They gave us a mesh bag and we had to check our purses, take what we needed out, which they allowed you to take the phone. And that was the hilarious part because I know I needed my phone because my list was on my phone, but it was like, okay, you're not allowed to record, but here's your phone. Like, I saw other videos where they talked about how Hermes at their location, I think it was in Canada or London, they made them put their phone in a Ziploc bag. That did not happen. They were just like, you can take your phone, take your credit cards, because we want to make sure you pay, of course, right? Take your invitation, make sure you have it with you. You do need that to check out as well. And anything else you may need. And that was it. We tucked everything in our pockets. I'm so happy. I wore jeans. My friend, she just tossed it in her mesh bag. It was very, very organized. I'm going to say it. It was so organized. I was really amazed at how organized. I mean, this was not a small event, but it was very organized. They had ample staff available. And they were very, very kind. If you had questions, they answered the questions and so on and so forth. It was really nice. It was really nice. Okay, so during the sale, I kept telling myself, girl, stop fooling yourself. If you're not gonna wear it, don't buy it. I was determined not to end up with buyer's remorse. Listen to me. Things may seem good because they're on sale, but when you really start looking at the numbers, I'm like, just because it's on sale doesn't mean you need to buy everything. So I really did pay attention to make sure what I was buying was something that I actually wanted or needed, but then also that I wasn't just buying because I was swept in the spirit of the sale. And I'm going to tell you, my friend, as soon as we got in, we parted ways because the first section, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting my head up. Let me stop. Let me go back to my notes. I will talk to you all day. You know I love talking to you. I'm going to try to stick with my notes and not stray too far because people will talk about me. Like, why is she always rambling and repeating herself? That's just who I am. It's just who I am. Okay, let me get back to the notes. Yes, okay, so I was going in the right direction. So listen, yes, the prices were nice. They were nice. And I will give you some examples later. But for now, don't go up in there doing girl math. I'm just going to say it. Don't do girl math. Do the real math, okay? Do the real math. Because those prices, and one example, and this isn't even something that I picked up. Wait, let me just give you some examples. Of some real numbers. So, for instance, a top could cost potentially $14.50, right? That's the original price. But because of the sale, it was $580. So you went from $1,450 to $580. So you saved 60%, but that's still $580. So that's what I'm like, don't do the girl math, do the real math, okay? Don't go up in there delusional, okay? We don't need to be going broke, going into debt. Don't do these things. I'm just saying, but enjoy yourself, get what you want, get what you need. And that's the mindset I myself was carrying as I went in. So as I was running around, I had a whole stack of clothes, but there was a whole method to my madness. And as I was trying them on, I was very, very strategic when it came to what really worked for me, what didn't. And that little mantra I was saying, like, girl, stop trying to fool yourself. Like some of the leather pants, I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, girl, stop fooling yourself. You know you ain't gonna wear those leather pants. Yeah, no, you aren't. So there you have it. So let me give you some more comparisons. The range of the sale as far as savings went from 50% to 75%. And that's some of the items that I myself picked up. So that's a good range. But, if it's a high ticket item, like we saw some items that were like $7,000, $17,000, $20,000. Yes, but I will get there in the discussion. Just give me a second. I cannot even begin to tell you how much fun I had. And going with someone like my friend was amazing. We had such a blast and a good time. From what I felt as we entered the space, there was really no time limit. I don't know if that was really the case or they had a way to monitor, but it really did not feel like there was a time limit and I wasn't paying attention. So that just worked to my benefit. The stock was plentiful. There were a lot of things. And I also noticed when people was like checking out, they brought the items back, put it right back on the floor, like pretty much immediately. so someone could see what someone else did not want and purchase it if they wanted to. The more sought out pieces, of course, sold earlier in the week, as soon as the sale probably started. So I'm gonna give you some examples of that. And one is the H sweater. My friend was really interested in seeing one of the H sweaters. They had the H joggers, but not the sweaters. And I'm gonna say this, if you were strategic and really thought about it, because the H joggers they had when we were there, they were ivory tone, you could have actually got the joggers at like half price, but then went and bought the H top because it's still on the website and available in the boutiques at full price. So there's things that you should consider while you're going through the process and determining what it is you want and don't want and preparing leading up to the event, right? So there were no H sweaters on the floor, just the H joggers. And that's just a popular item that I mentioned. And the other thing it made me think and wonder was it because H sweaters are like a very popular item, so they're not even going to introduce them into the sale? I don't know. I don't know what was there from day one until we, at the point where we were there. With the jewelry, it was about the same. And with the scarves, there were just certain areas where there were certain things that were just completely sold out by the time we even entered the door. So the way it was set up is you go in and the men's section was right there. So with the clothes for the men were there, and it was just separated by size. Everything was separated by size pretty much. The hats were just in different spaces, and then they had a bunch of ties and some men's scarves and things of that nature, accessories. And you go around a corner and there were men's shoes, and they were once again separated by size. So everything was easy to find. If you were looking at US size or a European size, it was all there so that you can see it. And if you weren't sure, you can ask someone, and they were very, very helpful in that way. Then when you went around from there, that's when you hit the women's area, and it started with the shoes. So you went from the men's shoes, and all of a sudden it was the women's shoes, and it was separated. Everything was separated, categorized by size. And after that, now let me tell you, when I went over, and this is why I was like, my friend got lucky. She has small feet, so they had all kinds of shoes for her, cute shoes. For me, because I have a size with I assume is a size, I wear a size 7.5 to 8. So that's the size that is like really sought after. With that, there was less for me to choose from. And what was hilarious is a number of them I already own. So it was like, okay, and not the more recent items. I have to say, the sale items that I noticed were, of course, a couple seasons behind. And I am comfortable with saying some of the things were within season, but then there were things that I myself had purchased last year when I was in France, in Paris. I purchased there. A lot of those items were on a floor at the sale. So that was spring 2023 this is 2024, 2023, so last year. They also had a section of like runway pieces that were there, and it was interesting because of course those pieces cost so much more, but it was interesting that it was offered there. I kid you not, I just saw those pieces last year, beginning of this year, so it was like, wow, they really did a good job with what the offerings were. So after you went through the women's section, the last section, there was scarves. And then the very last section outside of the scarves were jewelry, home goods. And there were also some baby items as well. Let's get into what I picked up. How about that? I know that's what you're waiting for. So we're gonna start with hub stuff because I put in the work. I put in the work to get my husband these items. I mean, because it was the first section, and this is why I said my friend, she left. Because she knew, I was like, I'm going to go to the section, I'm going to look, I'm going to take my time. She just left me. She was like, okay, well, she kind of lingered there and waited for me to say, okay, you don't have to wait. And she was gone. By the time I blinked my eyes, she was already gone. So I took my time and went through the men's section. No one was really going through the men's section. There were like a couple men, but not a lot. So that was hilarious. I mean, even at the Hermes event, that I just attended a couple weeks ago. It was hilarious. You can go stand in the men's section. The boutique was packed, but the men's section was like empty. I'm just saying, that's hilarious. So let me show you some of the things that I picked up for Hubs. The first item is this sweater crew neck, short sleeve. It's a short sleeve sweater and it's a crew neck. It is light enough weight that he could wear it. Now he tried to wear it. And I was like, no, I have to unbox this for my people first before you put anything on your body. So here we are. I do these things for you. This is just, I loved it. I love the color. I knew it would work for him. So yeah, that happened. I got him a long sleeve polo sweater because he loves long sleeve polos. And so this is light enough weight that it will work, right? Very transitional pieces. That's ultimately what my goal was for him. And the colors, you know, I love my neutrals. It just makes it so much easier to put an outfit together. I picked him up another t-shirt. He already has one. And when I saw that they had this in his size, I was like, I'll pick up another one just because it's fun. I got him a cap. I told you I put in work, honey. I got him a scarf. I love the details of this. And one of Hub's favorite colors, and one of the colors he gravitates towards is navy, so yeah, it just works. And I got him this scarf as well. I got him another scarf. I think at this point, Hubs is good when it comes to scarves. He doesn't need any more. Let's see another scarf. And it has some details here on both sides of the horse. Now they did not have pocket squares. They were completely out. They told me that so many people asked about them, but there were none. So the person suggested I get this because it would serve the same purpose. I agree. So I got him this. We will get a pocket square regular price. And I got him this tie because I feel it is a good combination and it will work with this pocket square. Especially seeing, remember he got those slacks and a navy blazer from the Hermes VIP appointment. So I think this would be great together with that. You know what? This will as well. See, I get things that I know is gonna work. That's just what I do. Last thing that I picked up for Hubs, I got him these wonderful sandals. Let me show you. Look at that. Look at that. As soon as I saw these sandals, I was like, this, look at the detail on the back. I knew this would work for him. I just had to make sure I had his size down. I know I did because I took notes. So I kept referring to my phone, looking at my notes. That's why I'm happy they let me keep my phone. Because I always just want to make sure. And yes, he tried them on. He loves them. They had Orons. They had some sneakers with the Kelly lock on them. They had all kinds of things for the men. The only question I really asked myself when it came to looking for the shoes for Hubs was, what is something he is going to wear? He has a number of Orons already. And then ones they had out and available were like lime green and something else. These just made sense. And that detailing, I mean, look at this H here. This just is such a fabulous, fabulous sandal. And seeing we'll be in Monte Carlo again in the spring, yes, right? It just works. It just works. Now, moving on to the things that I picked up. I had so many things in my hands, and I will explain this. When my friend saw me, she was like, oh my goodness, and you have to try all that on. And I was like, don't even worry about it. So what I did was I started with the bigger sizes on the floor since everything was separated by size. So I started with the biggest size and I worked my way down to the smallest size that I can wear. The reason I did that was because I've learned that sometimes if I go with the bigger size, it may be a little bigger, more roomier, but it still can work for me, and I didn't want to miss opportunities. So because of that, I ended up with doubles, hence why I had such a big stack of things. And I know my friend is gonna comment on this video. Just gonna say, tell us, I mean, she will vouch for me as far as how much stuff I had. But because I also was prepared with what I was wearing, trying on clothes were so seamless. So that is when I saw that dress that had that tear in it, and I was like, oh no ma'am, not at all. But as I was going through personally, I kept telling myself, like, girl, stop fooling yourself, you're not gonna wear it. And I know people probably thought I was crazy because I was saying it aloud, and that was because I was really holding myself to that and holding myself accountable. But I went through almost every section. I did not even entertain a smaller section that I just knew I was not gonna fit into. I didn't waste any time there. I just stuck with, you know, the couple of sizes that I know. So for me personally, anything in the 40s I can work with. It all depends. But at the smallest size I can go to, a majority of the time, it's like a 36. I could do a 34, but usually that's in tops and it doesn't make me feel as confident. So the lowest I will go is a 36. So I went from the 40s down to the 36s, and then I just stopped. I did notice there were a couple things that were not in the right place, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh my God, you know, I need to have that. No. A lot of things had like really bright colors or crazy patterns. There were not the traditional Hermes pieces like the cardigans with silk panels. I don't know if they had that prior and it just sold out. I don't know. But what was available at that time, it was just, yeah, there was a big variety and a big selection. You just had to really go through it. Are we gonna talk about what I picked up? Yes, we are. And we're gonna start with ready to wear. I picked up this sweater. It's like a mock neck sweater. They even had it in ivory, but it was in a bigger size. I like the way this fits, so I just stuck with this one. Yes, and it's in black. I got this beautiful sweater dress, and it's a V-neck. I feel I could wear this as a sweater dress, but I could also wear it with leggings underneath. I could also wear it with jeans. It is going to put in work for me. Can you see this with a pair of Uggs? Can you see this with a pair of the Hermes boots that I got last year? Look, if you have not seen that video, you need to check it out because yes, it will work with this. Beautiful, beautiful. See those details? It's just a really, really nice piece. Classics. That's what I gravitated towards. You know me already. Don't judge me. You knew it already. Come on. And then I also picked up, let me show you the color first, this beautiful shirt dress. Now, I already own a couple of the shirt dresses, so I knew it would work. It was a bigger size, and I was like, well, we'll see, we'll try. Look at this. I wanted to show you this as well while I'm holding it. Do you see the sell symbol there, that S in the corner? That shows people that this was purchased at the Hermes private sale events, right? I know I've heard people talk about it, but this is the first time I actually see it. When I got this, I was in the bigger size and I was like, you know what? I can make this work. And I got excited and I was like, oh, there's no belt because I only saw the loop. And I was like, well, you know what? I can use a belt, my own belt, that'd be perfectly fine. When I got to the dressing room to try it on, it had the belt. I was like, oh my goodness, this is meant to happen. I am getting this piece. I tried on so many other items. Now, the items that I had in double, once I found the size that really worked for me, I did not try on a second piece. But there were things like ivory sweater bottoms. Oh my God, there were so many pairs. I really wanted a pair. There was the H, like I said, the H bottoms were there. The issue I ran into was I just wasn't really, it wasn't a hard yes for me. So it ended up being a no. And I just stuck with that. There were some that were just so long. There was another pair that the individual that was helping me, who was a part of the sale, she was like, I think they're supposed to go down to your feet, like an average size pants. But for me, they felt like they were supposed to be like a capri. So I just left those. I was like, if I have to think too hard about what it is, I'm not going to get it. So interesting enough, that is all I got from ready to wear. Yes, I was very, very strategic, very mindful. I was on it. So let's go to the scarves. I am just going to let you know they were sold out of the size 140. Tweelies were sold out, which is fine. You know, I'm okay when it comes to Tweelies, but the size 140 was sold out. Then again, I have to say, I really believe that the scarves that they had in that size I already owned, probably based on what some of you informed me, because some of you were present. Those who came up to me, I really want to say thank you for coming up to me and speaking to me. And no, it wasn't the fact that I was so overwhelmed by the sale, but more so, I am not used to people coming up to me and saying, hi, I watch your videos, so on and so forth. But just know I deeply appreciate you. And another thing is, I had my friend with me, so I was looking for her when a couple people came up to me so that she can actually meet them as well. I just felt that it would be a perfect opportunity for us to like kind of chat. But yeah, it just didn't work out in that environment. So with scarves, size 140 was sold out, so I had to go with what I knew, and a majority of the other scarves I already own. I already own them. So I just was like, okay, what don't I own? Even if it was a different color, I was just like, no, what don't I own? And let's go with that. So I ended up with this beautiful, beautiful scarf. This is a size 90. You see all those details. It's funny, I swear I wanted the scarf when it first came out because it was about the time that my red dog passed away. And so I just was so happy that I was able to pick it up. And I didn't even realize that I was just so focused, hyper focused on the colors, that when I got back to the hotel room, I noticed it and was like, oh my God, I've been wanting that scarf for a while now. Then I got this one, which is another one that, let me see. Another one that caught my eye in the past that I did not get. Now I have it, and it is double-sided. When I was looking for scarves, I was looking for the patterns, and if they did not have the patterns that I was looking for, then the next thing I went for is the colors. And this one I went with because it has black and white, if you can see those details. And then if you look at the back, it has the polka dots. Then I got this one. It is a cashmere silk mix, and I picked it up. And of course, this one is a 140. Let me show you from the correct angle because there is a horse on here. It is red. And that's why I got it. I was like, absolutely. I love the color and it was a solid. The rest of the scarves, oh my goodness, they had so many colors, so many patterns. I just was like, no, I'm gonna stick with basic things. And because I did not have a 140 in silk, I did end up picking up this. And this is more of a rectangular shape. So we shall see what fun I have with this. I cannot even tell you. So I just can't. I picked it up because it has the browns in it and I really wanted something with more browns in it. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm excited to try something that is different. Okay, apparently I spoke too soon because now it's getting kind of dark and I think it's gonna rain outside. So now the weather is working against me. Let me turn on the light and see if it helps. That does not help anything. Daggone weather. Okay, because I am determined to get this out to you, I'm going to keep recording because that's what needs to happen and that's what's happening. So let's keep going. We are almost done anyway. Oh my goodness, this is going to be my favorite part because these pieces, I'm just going to let you know. There was a limit when it came to the jewelry. So there was a limit with the jewelry. I think there was a limit with leather pieces, which was 2. Yeah, I think that was all the limits. There were no limit on scarves. I thought that for a second that there were going to be, but there was not. The only thing that happened between the scarves and going into the jewelry section was you had to have your scarves checked. They basically counted them, put them in a bag, and then gave them to you to put into your bag. After that, you went into the section where the jewelry was and the home goods and the infant or baby items were as well. It was funny because my friend was already there and she had already picked out her pieces. Listen to me. Yes, you knew I was gonna tell them this story. You knew it because it's too good not to tell. So I'm looking and the first piece I find was this piece. As I said, I was very open to getting some Hermes jewelry, fashion jewelry, because I don't have any at the moment and it just seemed like a really good idea, especially to wear on this arm. And you push this and it opens up. So I found this and I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I'm going to get this. I know initially I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get a click clack or something like that. They did not have any of those. I don't know if there were any available. I would assume there were and it just sold out quickly. But this is really nice. The only criterion I had was that it be black and palladium, and it was. And the funny part about it was this was the last one. So I ended up with the last one of these. And that felt really good because I was just like, oh my God, I've won. It felt like I won the lottery. Oh my goodness. So then I walked over because it was a straight line and I saw a piece that looked like it was just exactly like this. It was exactly like this. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to have this piece. So I told the person, because the other person was writing my name down and putting the jewelry aside because you could not take the jewelry with you. They had to take it for you to the front. So I was waiting on the person to take my information down. So I run down real quick. I saw this in the display case and I was like, oh my God, take that out and hold it for me. So she's over there talking. My friend goes over and she's like, let me see it. And she tries it on and it fits. Do you believe she got that piece and it was the last one? Do you believe it? I was like, I cannot believe the audacity, of course, that this person who invited me to this event was robbed me of a piece of jewelry. Yeah, I was like, you are not my friend anymore. This is the end of it. And everyone laughed. We had a good time. And I was just like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. So the person took my information down, took this bracelet, put it aside so they could take it to the front for me. I went down to the case. They didn't have anything else, but when I looked over, they had the exact same one. They had it by size. I was not aware of that. So I got the same bracelet just in a bigger size and it works wonderfully. So let me show you, because I almost just put this on without even showing you. So here you go. So you can see how pretty it is. Yes. And what you do is you pull it up like that. Hear that? Yes. Pull it up. And I'm going to put this on for you. So there you have it. So this was the second piece I got. So you're allowed to get 2 pieces. She actually had 3, so she had to decide on which one she wanted. And her wrist was smaller than mine, so that was nice because I was like, no, she's not competition. But I did end up getting the piece that I wanted, and I'm happy. They're in the colorway that I wanted, right? I was like, palladium and black, that's all I want, and I got what I wanted. Listen to me. Tell me that does not look fabulous. I probably will not wear them together. That looks kind of weird, but one at a time, yes, look at that. Just beautiful pieces. It was nice. I'm happy I was able to get it on sale. Gives me some time to experiment to see if it's something that really does interest me. You know me. I got my stack. That's all I need. That's all I need. But we shall see. I'm excited. I'm happy that I was able to pick these pieces up. Let me put this away, and I'm going to move on to the last items that I picked up. And that would be shoes. Yes, I could not resist. They had some interesting pieces in my size. In other people's sizes, they had some great pieces. In my size, it was very questionable. It was very limited. One of the shoes that I saw were the Earth Mules. They had those, which is hilarious because I already have those. And it's been so long since the Earth Muse. That was last year. I wanted them so bad last year. And then this year they have them at the sale, but I already had a pair. I have 2 pairs. I have a white pair and a black pair already. Now, outside of that, my friend, she ended up with some lovely sandals. I did not see any Orons, but I did see Happy sneakers. I did see just other random things. I really was not trying to look for shoes. So when I saw something I liked, I snatched it up. And so I picked these up. I'm gonna take it off the box so you can see. I picked these mules up, and one's gonna look different because I took the sticker off the other. I thought these were in palladium. They are not. They're in gold. But I feel it will be fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm just happy I got a pair of white mules. I do not have any white mules. All my mules are black or golden. So this is going to work out. And to be honest with you, I think all of my mules actually are black. So this pair is going to be lovely. The Earth Mules are in white, but they're different than this because they're wedges. And this is, it's a black. So yes, I picked these up. And the last item that I picked up from the Hermès sale was these clog/mules. I'm just going to say it that way. And I'm going to take this off of one, but not both, because I have to pack these. So the stickers will also remain on for now. But can you see how lovely they are? Let me put this back on here. There you go. See how lovely those are? They are, and they kind of actually remind me of my Quadro that I got. And I was like, this will be a perfect match. So we'll see once home how that looks. But I think it's gonna work out very nicely for me. I'm just gonna be honest. Very, very, very nice. And then you can see. So let me show you again. Yeah. Now, I have gotten all of the unboxing out of the way. I'm gonna show you the invitation. This is the invitation that we received via email after printing it out. And it also has a barcode on it, so they could scan that. So yeah, that was the gist of it. It was an amazing, amazing sale. I will not lie. If I were invited again, I have so many thoughts. So let's continue with my notes. Checkout was seamless. checkout was seamless. So before you left, after, you know, they came, picked up your jewelry, if you had selected jewelry, they came, picked it up, took it to the front, right? Then you went through, they checked your items again, just to make sure everything you had selected was there. And then you got into a line to check out, and there were so many cashiers. I mean, it just moved so quickly. It was so seamless. So there were questions that I asked myself, and I actually discussed with my friend, like, would we do this again? Will we come back on the same day that we did this time? Will we come earlier? What were the thoughts? And so we had discussed it and was like, okay, maybe not the first day. I'm gonna be honest, I probably would do the first day just to experience it because it sounds crazy, but more so like the second day. And that was what we both decided. Will we be invited again? Who knows? I don't know. I know for me, I don't live in Florida, so I know that plays. So I don't frequent a boutique in Florida. And it seemed like, and it also sounded like, it was really those who frequent the boutiques in Florida that were present and were invited, and anyone else was just a plus one, which I still appreciate. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to get an invitation myself. I'm hoping that will be in Paris. That is just a hope and a dream, but I'm going to cling to it. That is all I have for you, and I thank you so much for joining me. It is time for me to begin packing so that I can get back home. I cannot wait to bundle up and just lay on the couch and relax. I am not even going to lie to you. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.